this for us, even though it's not technically Thursday. Everything's installed to this point. I thought the guys had good energy. I thought their legs looked a little bit better today after getting in the tubs yesterday and having a full day of rest. And certainly excited to get on the plane tomorrow and get going. Questions?
Cal, what do you remember about that bowl game matchup with them 5 years ago? I know the talent is different except for your redshirt seniors and theirs, but do they look the same as they did then? And
A lot of different players. They spread out a little bit more on offense than they did back then. They were a little bit more pro style, more 21 personnel oriented. Now they're a little bit more 11-10. Defensively, very similar. One of the things I remembered about that game was how talented I thought they were up front on defense, and I think they still are. They had an excellent football team that year.
Did you smile when DeMasso flipped into the end zone?
You know what? I would never. I guess now that I'm the head coach, I might be able to admit to it. But I think at that point, everybody turned away from the head coach, and Tommaso was on his own after that one.
Do you get the sense that the players have flushed Cincinnati? I mean, you feel like
I do. Yeah, I do. And in a regular game week, it's one of the reasons for whether the outcome is what you want or it's not. We practice on Sundays. Some teams take off Sunday and come back Monday. I know my predecessor felt this way. I've always felt this way. It's always good to get back out there and practice the next day and get moving on to the future, because you certainly have to acknowledge everything that happened in the game. You got to acknowledge where your weaknesses were, where your mistakes were. But then to dwell on it does not help you with what you have to do in the upcoming week.
Will you change your travel roster at all with just so many young Florida kids on the roster, maybe getting a chance to
We do. We try to bring the local guys down to Florida on the trip, even though they may be redshirting or maybe a little bit dinged up and not going to play. It gives them a chance to visit with their family in the hotel, the day before the game, or this is a night game, so even the afternoon or the morning of the game.
Do the older guys get excited about playing in Florida probably one last time?
I don't know if the finality of one last time is really on their mind, but I think any time we have played in Florida, South Florida when we played FIU, or the Tampa area when it's USF, or now Central Florida, we had the bowl game, and then coming down here for this one this week. It's always a little bit extra special. I know, and it's a little easier to do for the basketball coaches. I know they try to schedule games in their players' hometowns and things like that, and that's kind of neat. But for us to have such a significant population of our players from Florida and be able to go down to Florida and play a game, I know it's really special to those kids.
Cal, any insight you can give us into how you're going to split the running back carries? I mean,
PJ will start the game, and then and Savon will play, and I think Goodwin will play. I think you're going to see all three of them. But PJ will start the game, and he'll get an opportunity to see if he can really affect the game. I thought last week he was on his way to being able to do that, and unfortunately the game got away from us, and we didn't have enough carries to give him. So I was pleased with where he was. I think there's some things he'll do better this week now that he's played again. But I think you'll see PJ and Savon within that first series, and then at some point in the first half you'll see Goodwin.
Do you have are there any shifts in the